Listen, if anything, from all of this, I know to be true is Tony Khan is a huge pussy. All right?
So, Tony.
What do we want to talk about?
It's my line. You stole it.
I know.
What do you want to talk about? Okay, great job. Welcome.
You set the agenda for these things. I don't know.
Welcome to the You Mean to Me podcast. I'm Chris Robinson. This is Antonia Robinson. Make sure you are subscribed to the show on YouTube if that's where you're watching. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, subscribe there. And all of our social media links, everything, Linktree, You Mean to Me pod. Let's get right into it. Jey Uso doesn't deserve a shot at the world title. Like, not even a little bit. I don't care about the Fatal 4-Way. That match at WrestleMania with Jimmy was hot garbage. The internet's agreed with me. People on X, Twitter, whatever you call it, agree that match was horrendous. How do you reward a guy like that for having such a terrible fucking WrestleMania match, and now he's getting a world title shot? You look flabbergasted.
Of all the things we could talk about from this past weekend and yesterday and in general what's going on in the dirt sheets.
Oh, boy.
This is the topic you wanted to discuss?
Yeah, because, you know, people shit on AEW for having, like, ranking systems and this stuff, and they went away with it for a little while, then it came back, and, you know, they have eliminator matches, give people title shots, but, oh, you guys are just chasing 5-star matches. I would have liked that match at WrestleMania to be at least 2 stars, and then my man gets thrown into a number 1 contender 4-way, clearly injured, and wins, and now he gets a shot at Damian Priest over Drew McIntyre, who deserves a rematch. What happened to rematches? Oh, that was not a thing anymore? Bronson Reed and Ricochet are both getting WWE speed pushes, I guess. But do you think he deserves a title shot? The man, he couldn't be Gunther. He was in the Intercontinental title scene a month ago. Now he's getting world title shots? Do you think he deserves a title shot?
I see no problem with the outcome of the Fatal 4-Way.
Because you're a Jimmy Uso fan? You're just being...
Well, I'm a Jey Uso fan.
Jey Uso fan?
You're mixing
Sorry.
up the twins.
I can't tell them apart. Oh, that's about 5-6 years old. But seriously, he must be selling a lot of Yeet t-shirts.
I mean, I see a lot of them. I bought one recently for my brother.
There was a hoodie. You got him the hoodie.
That's big bucks.
The kids love the Yeet hoodies. He's in his 30s.
I mean, listen, a bad match is a bad match.
That was a really bad match.
I know, but
universally agreed that was a bad match that told no story. But
he was a big part of the downfall of the Bloodline in the main event on night 2.
He speared his brother off the stage in the
tables. Listen, those 90 seconds that he was a part of that match were better than the entire match on day 1.
They didn't even show that clip in the music video recap at the end when they were like summarizing that match and the song, and it's like, yeah, and they didn't even show that. They cut right to everything with John Cena and Solo.
Listen, I'm not going to make excuses for his for the night 1 match against Jimmy. I'm not going to try and find a reason for it. There isn't one. Like, it was bad. It was a super kick party.
Which are normally great when they're done right.
But I don't think it defines Jey Uso. I think that's unfair.
Okay, but all right, cut all that then. Do you want to see him against Damian Priest? Do you think he has a shot? There's just no... I don't like having number 1 contenders come out of nowhere when they've been nowhere near the world title. And now here we are. When you got 2 guys in Bronson Reed and
maybe something's gonna get shaken up. You never know. Things could change.
The Rock could come in and demand the title shot. Is that what we want to see?
Listen, there's a lot of things that could happen between now and whatever time the title shot happens. I don't know, but I don't think Jay's a bad choice. It would have been worse if it was. Who's the other 2 people in the match? Ricochet,
Bronson Reed, and Drew McIntyre. How do you not give Drew McIntyre a rematch? He's been the number 1.
I'm not saying Drew McIntyre wouldn't have made the most sense.
Of course it made sense. How do you not give it to him? Like, how does he not win that match?
Listen, maybe Triple H is cooking something. Let him cook, okay? He gave us a WrestleMania night to remember. I was in tears. Were you in tears?
No.
Oh, well, I was in tears.
It's still real to you, damn it.
I was in tears.
Yes, that's... that's the joke.
Let him cook. Let's see what happens. I think, if anything, what this has taught us is just see what happens. Like, let's just enjoy the ride.
No. I'm not enjoying the ride. Rock's gone. He's off. He handed Cody, like, I don't know what he handed Cody, a lighter, a set of keys. I don't know, but it just irks me because it's like, you know, you have people out there, one of my favorites, CM Punk, saying like, oh, you're chasing 5-star matches in AEW instead of selling these. But like, man, to reward somebody who had such a bad match on the grandest stage of them all, the biggest WrestleMania of all time, with a world title shot, it's like, no, everybody saw that match. The 70,000 plus people in the arena, the millions watching at home, that was a bad match.
Hold on. I guess my question to you, given how you're bitching about this, is this just because you're mad at the criticism AEW gets that you're like, no, we have to also, like, I don't understand why you keep bringing up AEW. Like,
I'm just saying, if somebody in AEW had a match like that, I don't think they would be in line for a world title shot afterwards. I don't think in professional wrestling as a whole, if you shit the bed like that, and then you get
Mercedes Moné hasn't wrestled a minute.
Huh?
And she has a title shot coming up. Mercedes Moné.
Oh, that's a whole nother story. Yeah, we get into that too. I mean, that's...
So I don't want to hear none of this bullshit that all of a sudden, like, AEW wouldn't do that. AEW did do that. I mean, he is doing that. She has not wrestled. There's a point system, and I don't know what point she got just for showing up. I don't know. And she's apparently going to take on the person who wins and the other match. I wasn't really paying attention. It wasn't that interesting. But... I mean, don't come with that. At least he won a match, and at least Jey wrestles.
And this has been our new recurring segment, Bitch Get in the Ring. Because we're recording this on Wednesday, right? It's Wednesday this time. I constantly get the days of the week wrong when recording this. She is scheduled to be on Dynamite, but no match announced. And it seems like, yeah, the first time she's going to get in the ring, it seems like it's going to be in late May at Double or Nothing, that she just called her shot. And... yeah, no, I have a problem with that too. And but I think that's going to be the impetus of a storyline for people to challenge her. Like, hey, no, you don't get to walk in here and just call title shots when we've all been here. Like, you have to get in the rankings. I think this is going to give a jumping off point for people to challenge her. But for Jey, like, if I'm Triple H, like, I'm not putting the title on Jey.
I think
so. Why even give him the shot?
Maybe they think the bigger story is Drew McIntyre and CM Punk right now, right?
But CM Punk's not going to be back for months.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
The bigger storyline for me is to insert Jey, keep him in the Intercontinental title scene. I know we've got the Sammy Chad Gable thing going on. I don't see a lot of legs to that personally. But then I see more money in Sammy and Jey having to like rekindle, you know, their thing. And like, well, we're friends, but like it just seems like Triple H is very much into face versus face, and even sometimes heel versus heel matchups and things like that. Yeah, Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre would be heel and heel, but is Damian Priest a heel anymore? I feel like he's kind of tweening. I feel like the Judgment Day as a whole is tweening into that cool heel category, where people are like, they're booing them, but really they're happy to see them. They can't wait to see what they're going to do. You got R-Truth back in the mix, your personal favorite. I don't know. I just would rather see, like, it's just the traditionalist in me that wants to see the former champion, Drew, get a rematch. Hell, I think Seth deserves a rematch, but he's, you know, recuperating probably. They said he's probably taking a couple weeks off to kind of, like, after everything's been going on this WrestleMania season.
It's just so frustrating because when I talk to you about AEW, you're like, oh, it's just a different product. Did you just use the WWE? You got a traditionalist in you when it comes to WWE and their game plan. When it comes to AEW and the stanky product they're putting out, you're like, well, it's just different than what you know. Blah, 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 blah. All wrestling doesn't have to be the same. Pick a lane. Pick a lane.
Stanky?
What did I say? Stinky?
They're putting out a stanky product?
Yeah, stanky products for me.
All right. Well, agree, disagree. I
don't agree with that.
You don't agree with agree to disagree? Oh, boy, it's going to be a long show. It's good. Well, hopefully, no. I'll try to keep it to 30 minutes this week. What else are we talking about? We covered a couple things there. So let's talk about something positive. We both... I thoroughly enjoyed Mania as a whole. I love both products. I see the flaws in both. I see the good in both. We both enjoy. I thought Night 2 was better.
I think that's the general consensus.
Not just because of the Cody win, just overall, just the pace, the 6 matches, everything had a good feel to it. The matches were very solid in the ring. There were good moments. But now the big question is, all right, Cody won. Your hero won. He's on top of the world. He's got The Rock on his, probably in his rearview mirror right now because The Rock's got to go make movies. What's next for Cody? Where do we go from here?
I don't know. I feel like the honeymoon phase isn't over.
Okay.
I've only seen him with that beautiful title on his shoulder once, so let me enjoy
which he wants to get rid of. He wants to bring back an older version of the title. Is what he said.
Okay.
What? The belt itself. You like that belt? You really like that belt?
I'm not a belt traditionalist.
Yeah, a belt mark. I'm a belt mark. He bought back the old Intercontinental title at one point when he was champion and got rid of the newer Attitude Era version. Then they got rid of that. Now
bring back the spinner one.
Oh, no. Get out. Nobody's bringing back the spinner one. He wants to bring back the early 90s Winged Eagle belt, which is like everyone's favorite.
I feel like we're losing track of what the conversation is.
Okay. Well, what's
this
next?
This isn't a podcast about belts.
It should be. It really should be. So first, does he stay on Raw or Smack? Does he go to SmackDown where Roman was? Does he stay on Raw? The draft's coming up. Like, what do you think they're going to do?
I don't know. Why do you keep asking me these questions about what's coming next? Because I don't know.
You want to talk about what happened? We just talked about what happened. That's the whole thing with podcasts like this. It's our opinion, what we think is going to happen, our opinion on what happened.
But I have no basis for this opinion. I don't know what benefit it would be.
You don't watch SmackDown that much. You only started watching SmackDown very sparingly during WrestleMania season.
That's because The Rock got on there.
So if Cody moves to SmackDown, do you stop watching Raw? Like
it depends on who's on Raw.
Okay, but will you start watching SmackDown then? Like if Cody,
I've been watching SmackDown a lot more lately.
But I mean, will you religiously watch SmackDown if Cody's there?
Yes, I will. Of course.
Okay.
He's a needle mover.
So what? What needle would that be?
What do you mean?
Okay.
The needle. What the needle to discuss when we talk about moving needle.
The wrestling needle that moves depending on the person. So who do you think is going to challenge him? And yeah, Monday was just yay! I'm the champion. Triple H is here. Hooray! But now, like, does Roman jump back into a rematch? I mean, he got Backlash. Is he going to have some other competitors?
I feel like he says there's bigger things on the horizon for Roman, and I don't think it's Cody.
You think Roman's going to take a break from the title scene?
I don't know what that bigger things is, but I just don't think it's Cody.
I mean, my main theory, and there's been a lot of talk lately about the people they've been signing, most of whom could fit into a Bloodline storyline. And that's Tama Tonga from New Japan, and that's Jacob Fatu from MLW.
Is he related to the Fatus?
I want to say maybe. I don't know. Can we pull up the big tree graphic? Can we pull that? Is he on the big tree graphic?
That's what we need for this, a whiteboard or something.
With the Samoan family. Just get a printout of the giant tree graphic The Rock had made. Anyway, my theory is, Roman kind of is like, I'm done with Cody. Let him do his thing. Like, I'll circle back and take that belt when I want. Kind of like put that out there that like he'll do what he wants. And then I see him turning on Jimmy and Solo because they failed him. He didn't retain the title. They both interfered and it backfired horribly.
Well, also, this could also be part of the reason why Jimmy's match was so bad. It could be like, Jimmy's nothing to me because he couldn't even beat his brother. Like,
there you go, too. He had a terrible match. 100%. Like, he lost to Jey. Him and Solo couldn't prevent Cody from winning. Like, I could see Roman overhauling the Bloodline, kicking them to the curb, beating them down, and maybe that's a babyface turn for Solo and Jimmy. And now we've got like a Bloodline kind of Civil War type deal. And then when The Rock comes back, who does he side with? Because he didn't turn. The whole thing we're talking about for the last like month or two on this podcast, in my head, The Rock was turning, and he didn't, and I'm thrilled because the last time we did talk, I said I didn't want him to, and he didn't. That was probably my favorite part of Mania. That The Rock didn't turn babyface. He's sticking with the heel. So when he comes back, him and Cody are ready-made, whether it's SummerSlam, WrestleMania. Are you excited for Rock and Cody whenever it happens?
That should be good.
You think so?
You know what my favorite part of Mania was?
No.
Bet you can guess.
No. What was R-Truth?
Yeah!
We love R-Truth. He follows the podcast on Twitter. Ron Killings, at Ron Killings. Yeah. Oh my God. When he came out on Raw with the belt. Oh my God.
Hilarious.
The Bloodline has all the gold. Like, you're not. I mean,
he single-handedly made the Judgment Day palatable for me. Yeah. Like, I used to hate those guys.
The Judgment Day has all the gold. Yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing for you especially. You didn't want them on your TV. You're like, I don't want to see these guys.
Well, Dominic Mysterio's got to be the biggest go-away heel in the world. Like, I just don't want him on my television. JD has a weird face.
We've been over your dislike of the Judgment Day, but they're great in the ring. Rhea's great. They've been great heels. But like I said, I feel like, I mean, even having Damian Priest go to Yankee Stadium and hang out with Aaron Judge on Monday after the win. I mean,
superstar so much more.
Superstar meets superstar. What? What's that? He didn't go to the Mets because
Because he's from the Bronx.
Right. And why would you go to that team? With a championship pedigree for one team, and
do you want to stay married?
Now it's a baseball podcast. But that's kind of a babyface thing to do. That's kind of a babyface thing to have the new champion go and do sports PR and have your name in the paper and be on ESPN and stuff like that. That's kind of like a more babyface thing.
I don't know. The Yankees are kind of the heels of baseball.
But I mean, the pop he got, it wasn't a boo. People didn't boo Damian Priest winning the title. It was like I said, I think Judgment Day.
I think it's just because that overall segment and like series of events is really exciting.
But that's the thing. I think they're at a point where they can go either way. They can kind of be full heel if they need to be, but also that they're really skewing into cool heel, which is a tough line to walk, and it's kind of got an NWO vibe to it. Like, okay, where does this go? Can we still, utilize this?
Isn't that Drew McIntyre? Isn't he a cool heel?
No, he's full heel now. I mean, he's a funny heel. He tries to make fun, but I mean, the stuff he does, especially stuff on social media, he's full heel. He's not trying to get the fans to cheer. I mean, neither Judgment Day really, but I feel like it's happening. And to have the comedy aspect with R-Truth to keep kind of popping in, popping out.
Hilarious.
I love it. I mean, I was a fan of Judgment Day from the beginning, and I felt they kind of cooled a little, and now they're red hot. Mm-hmm. I mean, to put the title to two
They won the Slammy for Best Faction.
They're holding both world titles on Raw right now until the draft happens. And that's the thing. For me, I think I can see Cody staying on Raw, and I can see them moving Judgment Day, all of them, to SmackDown, and maybe bringing Bayley to Raw, flip-flopping the women, something like that. But I don't know. I mean, the Netflix deal's coming up next year. Fox, they're going to be leaving Fox for USA with SmackDown. Like, maybe they're thinking that Cody set up on SmackDown so that when they jump to USA Network, that he's there and ready. Because that's the thing. These networks kind of have a say in who they want. Like, we want these stars on our show, on our channel each week, so we know what we're getting. We know who we're marketing, all that jazz. So I don't know. We'll see. It was a great Mania. We all loved it. Everybody wins. What else are we talking about today? Anything you want to talk about before we get into our next segment? All right. You could just say no.
Stop putting me on the spot to answer questions.
And you're about like stage fright face. I was like, you've done this. What? All right. So the big thing, as we said, it's Wednesday night, and this one hurts my brain. And I think what I'm actually going to do, because we're recording this, and then we're going to watch Dynamite, and then I might just take my phone and kind of record my immediate thoughts, is this whole thing with the footage from All In of CM Punk and Jack Perry.
Is that what it is? Because now I'm seeing on the internet that it might not be related to Punk at all. Because all they said was they're releasing footage from All In. They never actually said of CM Punk and Jack Perry.
Okay. Maybe. We'll see.
That could be the bait and switch.
They said it's not going to be. Well, they said it's not
I mean, they're going to show footage. They said, I'm definitely going to show footage. It's not in bait and switch, but the bait and switch has nothing to do with the conversation we're currently having. Could that be a possibility?
Sure. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody says it's being done to embarrass CM Punk. Everybody says it's petty by Tony Khan, AEW. I've seen all sorts of opinions. The one thing it's being used to do is bring Jack Perry back to AEW. He's been in New Japan. He's been wrestling there. He's been doing the scapegoat character. We've talked about it. And it looks like the Bucks are going to be the ones to like bring him back in storyline-wise into the fold, whether it's a member of the Elite, whether it's just them being EVPs and like, this is good for business. We need, this big star, Jack Perry. He's one of the pillars of AEW from the beginning. Yeah, no, he's one of the young pillars. It was Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Jack Perry, and like, I don't say Britt Baker, but it was another male wrestler, but I feel like it was Britt. She was the pillar of the women's division. Anyway, yeah, that's the main thing. I hope it's just used for that. I hope it's not done to just make CM Punk look shitty, because it's petty at this point and useless. I mean, do you think it has any value at all? Like, do you think they're going to like try to make Punk look stupid after what he said last week in his interview?
I mean, sorry, talking into my phone. You know how I feel about AEW.
Right, but you didn't really see Punk's run there. Like, he had a good run before without all the nonsense. Like,
even if they could possibly hurt Punk, I don't think they could. I don't see this backfiring. I think people have made up their minds and made a decision about this. And I really don't know why AEW continues to do these things. Like,
my biggest problem is, why didn't you do it after it happened? Or why didn't you smooth things over after... First, why didn't you smooth things over to Brawl Out instead of creating Collision for it to be Punk show and separating the rosters and all that nonsense? But why couldn't you... And a lot of people say this, why couldn't you make money off this? Why couldn't you let everybody cool down, mediate the situation, and then have a feud between Punk and Jack Perry or Punk and the Elite? Like something where everybody wins. And it just... That's why it just feels like... I feel like Punk kind of saw the writing on the wall that he had a door that could be open for him in WWE. I think he kind of knew that, and I think he was just looking for a way out.
Oh, really? You think so?
I'm starting to think though, just the way he's been on TV.
And I think he already knew. Also, like it didn't seem like him in the EVPs that.
No, well, that's from Brawl Out from the year before when he had the little
so they already had bad blood. There was already like, I'm sure they were happy to kick him out. Seems like they weren't friends.
But for Tony Khan to say that he feared for his life, like when he came out and announced Punk's firing, he said that he's never been like afraid to be backstage at a wrestling show. And
listen, if anything from all of this, I know to be true is Tony Khan is a huge pussy. All right, he has lost all credibility and all respect because at the end of the fucking day, he was called out by Punk, nobody else on that interview. Right?
And Edge came out to rebut.
And you send out Edge. At the very least, you may not like what Triple H got to say sometimes, but if he has to defend himself, he does it himself. And all he did was make me double down and believe CM Punk when he's like, he doesn't know how to run a business. He's a pussy.
I think he knows how to run a business. I think he's
not this business.
He's 5 years into what Cody even referred to as a startup. He's like, it's a big startup, but it's a startup. It's a bunch of people who've never run a wrestling business before, and they're only 5 years into it. And WWE is 40 or 50 years into it. So, you know, and I mean, hell, Impact TNA has been doing it for almost 20 years now. What is it like? It's a management of egos that I think coming from football and owning the Jaguars like him and his father do, that it's like, okay, you have the coaches in place and you have the general manager in place and you have all this structure to kind of control the actual talent, the athletes. And they have, you know, EVPs and they have coaches and producers and agents. But at the end of the day, when a hammer has to drop, it's going to have to come from the promoter, the owner, Tony Khan. And
it doesn't seem like that happened.
Exactly. So,
and I'm sorry, that tells me, listen, you're not a good manager if you won't have the tough conversations. You're not. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, I'm not your pal.
Right.
You got a business to run.
Right. These are
don't be my
contractors.
friend.
Yeah, these are independent contractors. Like
don't be my fucking friend. That's why you're too much of a fan to be a manager because you want to be friends with the talent. And that's not how this works.
Right. And that's what I mean. That's if you ever watch.
And you don't get on the mic and defend and stand on business and defend your product. I don't care. At the end of the day, I might not like your product, but I'll respect you if you stand by your shit.
You are blowing the levels out.
Sorry, but you ain't standing by your shit. You making someone else do it.
Right, and that's the thing. He's never tried to. I mean, this thing. I can't say he's never tried to be an on-air character because he makes these special announcements and he came out and announced Punk's firing and he did this and that. Like, you can't have it both ways. You're either the on-camera personality that people refer to all the time and know about and you're seen, or you're a ghost. You're off camera. You're just the executive. You can't have it both ways. And
if you don't want to be seen, that's fine, but then don't send out people to do your dirty work. Schedule an interview somewhere.
Yeah, right? Put it out on social media.
Go on today. I don't know. What are the morning shows? I don't know.
Pre-tape your segment, put it on. It doesn't have to be live in front of the crowd. You can pre-tape the segment.
Yeah, you could put out a statement somewhere. Like, you don't have to be on camera or be a personality if you don't want to. But it just seems like, I don't know, Bush League to send out people to do your dirty work and to sit there and say, I'm so happy. Like, that feels like drinking the Kool-Aid nonsense. I'm so happy to be here and this is where the best wrestlers are. Like, that don't sound legit. Nobody talks like that. And people don't cut promos. Like that's the other thing. Like AEW promos seem to be a lot of bitching and moaning about like, here's what I deserve, or my life was so hard and then I found AEW. Like, okay, I get it. But no, I want to see y'all beefing. I don't care about your life story. I want to see y'all beefing.
I don't care about your life story.
Like when Willow came out in that dress off the rack from fucking TJ Maxx to talk about, I wasn't the girl that anybody wanted and now I found love and blah, blah, blah. My fans love me. Like, that, come on.
I found love. Yeah. No. I mean, I don't get into Willow Nightingale's promo ability, but, yeah.
And listen, if Tony Khan wants to tell me he believes in his product, invest in costume design and hair and makeup for your ladies, okay? Stop spending money on Mercedes Moné who ain't wrestling, okay? And all these people who ain't moved the needle. You know what'll move the needle? Makeup and hair. Make them look good.
Bitch, get in the ring.
Is that your favorite line from last time?
That's going to be the tagline for the show. You're Mean to Me podcast. Bitch, get in the ring. All right. So we just watched the Young Bucks present the footage from All in London of the backstage incident. And basically they used it to just further their feud with FTR and say that situation that happened with Punk and Jack Perry distracted them and that's why they lost. It's stupid. I'll say it. I love the Young Bucks. I love AEW. That was pointless. I still also think they're using it to further bringing back Jack Perry. He's going to be back soon, guaranteed. But yeah, it was stupid. Absolutely stupid. What did you think?
That was stupid.
Well, no one cares about your opinion, you WWE mark. Anyway, back to the show.
Oh, are you going to leave in the line that's me saying Tony Khan's pussy?
Are
you going to get in trouble? I don't know.
I mean, I guess if I don't want to ever work in the business again, sure.
If it's the problem is the word pussy, you could just bleep it.
Oh, yeah, that's the problem. Not the overall rant where you turned into CM Punk Jr. over here. Like, just echoing all this stuff. Look, I get it. Like, that's why I said, like, tonight, whatever they do, however they do this footage, like, I hope it's not embarrassing for them.
It's pathetic.
But we don't know yet. You don't know it's pathetic. You haven't seen it.
All right, but it's pathetic because they're using it at a time that they know people are going to watch. Like,
they're also giving Dustin Rhodes a world title eliminator match, and because he's never held a world title, and he gets Samoa Joe. Like, yeah, this is. I don't like that either because it's like, yeah, now you guys are just straight up glomming off WWE. It's not worth it. Like, you have to act like they don't exist. You just have to. You can watch and pay attention, but like in these situations, you just gotta do your thing and have the matches you want to have and book the shows you want to book. I'm like, oh, Cody's the thing. Let's dust off Dustin Rhodes.
It also doesn't help right now, especially like we were watching WrestleMania and in like Cody's package, they had no problem showing the Young Bucks and like Kenny Omega and them.
Jericho,
WWE does not act like you're a threat. You should just keep it moving.
They're part of Cody's journey.
Yeah.
They acknowledge that, but in the past they wouldn't have. Like that's
but like
that's why wrestling fans are like, oh heavens.
Oh, we're talking about a different era. We're in the Paul Levesque era.
We're in the Paul Levesque era.
That's what Stephanie McMahon said. I love Stephanie McMahon. I'm so glad I saw her.
Who apparently is back, but not back. I don't know if she's back or just.
Oh, she's back forever. She's amazing.
On camera back. I don't know. Anyway, it's a wait and see. We did you say you don't want to speculate and talk about the future, but man, did you just sit here and speculate what's going to happen?
I did. I'm talking about what I feel right now, and that is
in about 5 minutes after we record
Tony
this
Khan's
podcast.
pussy.
Oh God, please stop saying that. I guess we're not going to get to reality this week. There's not much to talk about anyway.
Well, no, because I've given up on Real Housewives of Potomac. I hate the whole cast. The whole cast is
find out why
a garbage fire.
I never liked that. I mean, I watched several episodes with you. Nothing about that show seemed interesting.
It's very upsetting
at all.
How things are going down, and
the Miami one was just interesting, pretty much because of Larsa and Marcus Jordan, and that's over.
No, I like all of
Miami.
For you, yeah.
For me,
we've been watching Vanderpump, but there's only so much we could talk about. That is
it started this last week repetitive. It's the same shit. Tom and Ariana and the split in the Fenn group.
So really, we're gonna get back to reality once Real Housewives of Jersey comes back.
Yeah, which is in a few weeks. We could talk about the water tasting.
No, we won't.
Oh, yeah, because on Vanderpump Rules, they had a water tasting. I'm just gonna let that sit there. Water tasting. Okay.
They had $1,000 bottle of water or something.
They had $1,000 bottle of water. I'm looking at the camera because I want you to look into my eyes and see that I'm not joking.
To be fair, there is different tasting water because since I moved to Jersey, I realized that the water here is shit.
Okay, that's a whole nother podcast. That's a different podcast. We could start a podcast to talk about
why Jersey is shit.
It's not shit. Love it or leave it. That's the tagline for the country.
Is it?
No.
Oh.
All right, let's wrap it up. So we're gonna see in about 4 minutes what happens on Dynamite, and we'll see on Friday what happens on Smackdown. And if you want to see more of this show or hear more of this show, all of our links for YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, social media, Linktree/You Mean to Me Pod. Graphics right up here. Look at that graphic I made. Oh, that's nice. It's got colors and text on it. It's very simple. You can click down below and all that jazz. Yeah, we're YouTubing. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. We really appreciate it as we try to grow the show. Show the grow. All right. What's our sign-off? Say goodbye, Toni? What did we do last week?
Say goodbye, Antonia.
Say goodbye, Antonia. See? I fucked it up already. See you next week.